You've seen flat, now let's go bigger! Today, at Honkai Story, I, Mischief, your designated Gooner, will be applying math and science to determine how much milk can the Dahlia's calcium cannons produce. But the real man of the hour is ZZZ Fan 2024 for coming out of retirement to provide the calculations. So let's not waste any more time and get right to business. Before we dive into the milk math, we need to cover a few variables that most people ignore. The way the formula is presented are by these variables. We have M equating to the total nutrient output per day, B means body mass, G is fraction of glandular tissue, E represents our efficiency modifier, and lastly, R is our conversion rate. To find the Dahlia's height, we had to visit a couple of fellow Redditors. The first one being Zolombox, who's responsible for comparing Constance and Himiko's calcium cannons by overlaying them in an image. And thanks to another Redditor, Promise Me Stars, who compared every character's height using Blender, since the scaling is nearly identical to Unity's game's engine. Himiko came out to around 170 centimeters and 165 centimeters without heels. In feet and inches, this would mean Himiko is 5'7" with heels and 5'5" without heels. In the image we received by Zolombox, the Dahlia's transparent overlay appears to be a few centimeters taller than Himiko, most noticeably her shoulders. So it's safe to assume that Dahlia is 174 centimeters or 5'9" with heels, and 169 centimeters or 5'7" without the heels. Now that we covered her height, we now have to apply Setai geometry to calculate the bust. To find the bust depth and width, it had to be measured directly. It's almost as accurate as using Bezier curves, which is basically like a flexible tape measure. Since the height line is slightly adjusted above where her heels meet the floor and at the band of her hat, calculating with Setai geometry gave us the rest of the information we needed to find her cup size. Ladies and gentlemen, you can safely assume that the Dahlia is an I-cup. I-cups can weigh anywhere from 3.2 kg up to 4.7 kg. Just to be on the safe side, we'll place Dahlia's milkers at 4.1 kg as a total pair. This would lead us to the next variable we need to cover: the amount of glandular tissue stored in the cannons, the area that's actually responsible for producing the flavor. To support our research, we're going to revisit the Journal of Anatomy from Ramsey and his colleagues in 2005. In their research, they studied the anatomy of calcium cannon redefined with ultrasound imaging. In their Journal of Anatomy, Ramsey and his colleagues examined 21 different women and found that the glandular tissue makes up on average 63% of the total glandular tissue, represented by 63 plus minus 9% of the orb's tissues, and the fatty tissues represented 37 plus minus 9% of the orb's left cannon. Since we confirmed that the Dahlia's orbs weigh 4.1 kg, we can multiply their weight by 63% to get the amount of active glandular tissue. So the equation we would get would be 0.63 times 4.1 kg, which gives us 2.583 kg of the orb's active glandular tissue. Then we multiply the weight of the active tissue by 1000 to convert over to grams. So 2.583 kg times 1000 would equal 2583 grams of active glandular tissue. In a 2008 review on milk secretion, Margaret C. Neville reported that the rate averages approximately 1.5 milliliters of milk per gram of active glandular tissue per day, citing the foundational work of Pico from 1997. Quoting Margaret C. Neville, PhD, in comparison to related dermal glands such as the salivary and sweat glands, the rate of milk secretion is slow, about 1.5 milliliters of per gram of glandular tissue per day. Now, for the sake of milk math purposes, our glorious King ZZZ Fan 2024 used the upper benchmark of 2 milliliters as the limit, which means all we have to do is multiply the calculated glandular mass by the secretion of 2 milliliters per gram of active glandular tissue. So the equation we get would be 2583 times 2. This means that Dahlia can output an astonishing 5.1 liters per day. Obviously, some of you are probably skeptical and think it's impossible to produce that much. However, the milk is backed by scientific research. Plus, she's a video game character. Gooners and goonettes, we have done it. We have scientifically proven how much milk the Dahlia can produce with the help of ZZZ Fan 2024, Zolombox, and Promise Me Stars. With that being said, have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.